Fabian, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us here in Astro, Malaysia. It's an absolute pleasure. I want to start by saying that I'm also born in the same year that you were born, which is 1993. And last year, for my 31st birthday present, I got a really special gift from a close friend of mine, and it was this. It's a St. Pauli kit,
Oh,
the year you guys won the
nice.
Bundesliga too. And that was one of my, I really enjoyed following you and the team that year. And of course, since then you've made the jump. And I want to talk about the emotions because after experiencing the emotions of, winning the Bundesliga too, you then jumped into the Premier League, which is, widely regarded as sort of like this pressure cooker environment, biggest league in the world. You walked into a team as progressive as Brighton. How do you reflect on your first season in the Premier League after the highs of winning the Bundesliga too?
So, like I said, it was very emotional when we made the promotion with St. Pauli, and was great to be part of that. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity, and I'm very thankful for the fans, the supporters from St. Pauli. And I think it's a special club. Then I had to make the decision, and I made the decision for Brighton and not against St. Pauli. And it was a different challenge. You can't compare these different career steps. So it was a different challenge in a different country with a different language. And together with my team, together with the players, we managed quite in a positive way. So of course we had some ups, some downs, but we always had this togetherness. We always felt a connection to each other, and this makes this club here, Brighton of Albion, so special. So it's a big togetherness. It's a we and me culture, and therefore I'm really happy and thankful to be part of it. And for the next season, we try to build on the foundation we had built in the last part of the season, and try to get the consistency into the team. So I think that was one of the biggest weaknesses we had, our consistency regarding the results, consistency regarding the performances, and that was some of the negative sides of the last season. But overall, I was quite happy about how we worked together. I was quite happy what we achieved. Of course, we wanted to get to Europe, but regarding the amount of points we collected was a very good season. And now it's up to us to be better than that, to get better than that, and everyone has to get stepping out of his comfort zone. Everyone has to be involved more than he was involved. Everyone has to bring more effort into it, that we can reach these expectations and make our supporters proud.
I mean, as you pointed out, Fabian, I mean, if you were to sort of zoom out of the situation and just look at the season purely from the number of points, it was a pretty strong season from Brighton. But I suppose from the supporters' point of view, you can understand a bit of the frustration because the race for Europe, it was so close at the end, and a lot of them pinned it on a few results where Brighton, you guys sort of lost it very late. What do you put it down to? You mentioned the inconsistency as well. What
Yeah.
do you put it down to, those problems?
I think I wouldn't talk about problems, so it's more about the challenge to get immediately a group feeling into it. You have so many different cultures, you have so many different players in different ages, and I think the main thing is to immediately get this togetherness into the group. And therefore, in some moments we might were naive. In some moments we had a lack of experience, and I think there were so many players who had the first Premier League season, and in some moments we should be also human beings, and we should accept that the young players, they need time, the young players need to make mistakes to get experience into it. I think that was some of our learnings and our growings we had last season. So overall, like you said, we were all disappointed of not reaching Europe, but I wouldn't talk about that was a problem. It was more like the challenge. In these moments we couldn't face the challenge, we couldn't face this adversity, we weren't ready for that, so therefore we made mistakes, and that's something we have to improve this season. That's something we also want to improve this season.
I suppose Brighton, I mean, as a football club, I think it's got this reputation for a really progressive football team, not just from how it's run as a club, but also in terms of the style of football and how you guys play on the pitch. But putting aside the team, it's also made up of some really, really fascinating individuals. And one of them has got to be Danny Welbeck. He's had an incredible career in England, but
Yeah.
last season, the number of goals he scored, he was hitting sort of like the form that we have not seen him hit in a while. Could you explain to us just how good of a player Danny Welbeck is?
So I think two big reasons for his great season he had last year. I think the first reason was his own his own professionalism. So he prepares for every training like a role model. He regenerates after every training like a role model. He acts like on the pitch, beside the pitch, as a great support, as a great team player. And I think he should be a role model. Or he is a role model for every young player. And the second thing, I think our staff, our medical department made a great job with him. He never played so many minutes. He never played so consistent without having any injury. So overall, it was a work of a togetherness. So it was the medical department, was the big professionalism, the big character from Danny Welbeck, and that's also the reason why you can have this great season. If you don't have this work ethic, if you don't have this intrinsic motivation like a Danny Welbeck, I think you can't achieve it. So overall, it's coming back to his own responsibility and also to the knowledge and to the input our medical department had.
I really, really love that because, I was having a conversation with a few friends who are Manchester United fans, and they still talk about Welbeck like the young boy that burst through the seeds with United. They still look at him that way. But the reality is, he is one of the most experienced players in the Premier League right now. He has played more games for Brighton than he ever did for Arsenal or even Manchester United. He has sort of evolved into this elder statesman figure for the club,
Yeah.
right, at this point?
Yeah, it's impressive. So you can really feel that he's part of the club, and you can feel that he feels really like home here, and that's something what I think is not common, not usual in football. So he feels this feeling of, yeah, I'm appreciated here. I can be myself here, and I think that's very important for players like Danny. And like you said, he played so many games for Brighton, so we are very happy to have a player like him in our building. And he's a little bit like a wine. The older he gets, the better. The older it gets, the better he is. And I think that's something what really fits to him. You see his daily motivation. That's just an inspiration for everyone. So I would love that everyone outside could see his work ethic, his character sides. He's a great human being. He's a gentleman, and I think I said it already before. He should be a role model for every young player. If you have the right work ethic, if you come into the building and be there for everyone, be the role model for everyone, then you can achieve great things. So I'm very thankful to work with him.
Perfect. I think that's beautifully said. I want to talk about another player as well, Carlos Baleba. I mean, last year was his second season, but it truly felt almost like it was his breakthrough year because you're stamping his authority on the pitch as well. How has he grown as a player and his importance to this Brighton team?
I think he was a great example of our season. So a lot of highs, but there were also some lows, and especially for him, it was the first Premier League season in the way that he really was a starter. So the season before he was not always a starter, and now he played like very regularly. He was a very important part in our squad, and I think that was also a challenge for him to change from a non-starter to a starter, to be immediately in a very important role in a very important position. And don't underestimate that the number 6 is a very big role in our system and in our style of play. So therefore he had a lot of responsibility, and you could see it in his performances. There were like amazing performances, but there were also performances where he dropped a little bit, and that's something what I meant of building this consistency. And he's a great example. He's a young player. He will learn from the last season. He will improve regarding these consistency, and that's something where we need to give him the environment where he can really express himself like he wants to be and can be the best player and the best person he can be on the pitch and beside the pitch. And that's our responsibility to grow with him together and to help him with this development.
We're speaking now, Fabian, in the end of July. Preseason is well underway, heading into a new season. But it also feels like this summer has sort of felt like a summer of change at the club. There's been a number of key exits. There's been a number of key entries, and sometimes change can sometimes be a very powerful tool for a positive, but sometimes it can also adversely impact processes, plans. How are you guys managing the summer of change so far at Brighton?
So overall, I think we had a great summer. So of course we had some players who left us, some very important players who left us. But I think one of the biggest strengths from Brighton is that we always can compensate it as a team. So no matter who left this club, there was always this we and me culture in this club, and we were always able to not replace a player one to one. So for example, you can't replace a Shaw with one individual player because he had this amazing quality, but you can replace him as a group, as a unit, as a togetherness. And that's what we're always trying to do, and that's also what is our target this season, to replace the outgoing players by this togetherness, by this group. And that's what we already proved last season. That's what we will prove this season, and that's also the way Brighton of Albion works to replace the players that are leaving this club by this togetherness, but also get an understanding that we don't sell every player. So we had some offers for some very important players this season as well, and the club didn't sold them. So it shows that we have ambitions. We want to achieve something, and it shows that we're on the right way with not selling every player or by getting an offer for them.
Let's talk about some of the guys that have joined Brighton. The new Greek boys up front, Koustulas and Zimas. Tell us about them. What are they like as players? How are they similar? How are they different to one another?
So I think they have both a great work ethic, and they both have really good character sides. Otherwise, they wouldn't be players from Brighton. Then they are great on numbers. They showed it last season in their clubs that they can have a big impact immediately. So they are quite young, but they play a very important part in their clubs. They both have big potential. So it's now up to us, up to me, up to the staff to get the best out of their potential. And I think that's one of our goals, to implement them as fast as possible. They have like great skills. We hopefully see as soon as possible. But the main thing is to help them to get integrated into this club, to help them to adapt to the new intensity, because there will be a new intensity. And then I'm sure that we'll see some great things on the pitch from them.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a very exciting piece of business for Greek fans as well. They're really excited about watching these two boys integrate themselves into Brighton. On a personal level, though, Fabian, I think one of the players that I'm really excited about that you guys have signed is Diego Copola. And this is a boy that I follow a number of scouts on Twitter, and they were all raving about the fact that Brighton were able to wrap up this signing before the under 21 Euros, because that could have potentially made things a lot trickier. How good of a player he is? What sort of potential does he have moving forward?
I think it's impressive, his career so far. So he's very young, but he already managed to play like I think 81, 82 Serie A games. So you could see it. You can see it in every training session that he knows how to defend. He's a proper Italian defender. He is a great athlete. He has a good understanding of the game. Of course, now it's about improving his skills in possession. We want to dominate the opponents also in possession. I think there he has potential that he can improve, but I really love his work ethic. So from the first day he's on the pitch, he didn't miss 1 second. He's always there. He's always a hard trainer, a hard worker, a real proper Italian defender. I really like to work with him. I'm really looking forward to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, I think we're all excited about him. Excited to watch him in the Premier League as well with you guys. One final question, Fabian. I mean, I know we say this every season. Every season we say the same thing, which is it feels like the upcoming season is going to be the most competitive Premier League season. It just keeps getting more and more competitive every year. How does a club like Brighton attempt to keep pushing the boundaries, keep pushing the big boys in an environment like that?
By doing the things we can influence on the highest level, on the highest standards. So being the best prepared team you can be, having the best analysts, the best medical departments, having the best players regarding work ethic on the pitch and also beside the pitch. So I think these are all things you can influence. So it's about choosing the right people you work with. And I think there Brighton is really strong. The second thing is about consistency. So don't do it only once. Do it like day by day. Do it week by week, month by month. Don't get too much attracted or deflected by the results. So if you only focus on the results, you don't focus on the process anymore. And I think Brighton is quite good in really focusing on the process, because if you really work hard every day, the results will come. And that's something what we really do well here in this club. And these are the things we need to push. We need to push ourselves. We need to have the attitude inside of us that we want to come to the training pitch, no matter if I'm the physio, no matter if I'm the head coach, no matter if I'm the analyst, no matter if I'm working in the kitchen. I want to be the best supporter and the highest challenger I can be for the players. And that's then something what I also demand from the players. So come every day to the training ground and try to be the best version you can be. And having this work ethic, this culture, I think the culture drives us. And if you have the right culture, then you get also the right behaviors. And if you have the right behaviors, then I'm sure that the results will come. And that's what we try to do every season. That's also what we have to do this season on a higher level than we showed it last season.
Perfect. You summed that up perfectly, Fabian. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us here in Astro Malaysia. We look forward to watching you and the Brighton team in the upcoming Premier League season.